All right, what's going on, Bulls Nation? So, as you saw in the thumbnail, Zach LaVine to the Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers just lost Joel Embiid in probably 4 to 6 weeks, maybe months. So, we're going to talk about the potential right after this.
This is your home for all things Chicago Bulls. Join the conversation. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
All right, Bulls Nation. So, unfortunate news for the 76ers that Joel Embiid is going to be sidelined because of a knee injury. I believe it's a meniscus tear. And conservatively, from what I've been hearing, he's going to be out around 4 to 6 weeks, and that is the good news. The bad news is if he repairs it, I think it's going to be around months. Now, with that being said, let's look at the bright side. Let's pretend because they're still up there, right? Like, but the Knicks are knocking on the door. Let's say that it's 4 to 6 weeks. They need to survive the next few weeks without, basically their number one option. Now, can Tyrese Maxey carry the load? I mean, he's a very good player, but in a very competitive East now. The New York is knocking on the door. You got Boston Celtics out there. You got Milwaukee Bucks. It's gonna be tough. So they need an extra firepower now that they lost James Harden, and I know they're wary about getting Zach LaVine and what they're gonna give up. But this might be an opportunity for the Bulls to capitalize on this injury that maybe they become desperate. A few more losses here and there might force 76ers, to go to a different measure. Like, if not Zach, they might look at DeMar. And I don't think it's going to cost them a lot. Basically, it's flipping what they got from the James Harden trade to make it Zach LaVine. And I hate to break it to you, Bulls Nation, we're not going to get Tyrese Maxey. Never. That would never happen. Even, we try to be realistic here as much as possible. So I think the return that we're going to get is, if we could swing it, is, basically the return is 2 first rounders, the one that they got from the James Harden trade. So this is how the trade's going to look like, because the salaries do match. This is not a sexy trade. This is not about to help the Bulls right now. What it would do is it would free up cap space for next year. Now, for Philadelphia, they still have, if they're looking for cap space, there's really no one to sign anyway, unless you think you're going to get Paul George. But with that being said, I doubt Paul George leaves the Clippers anyway. But with that being said, they still have Tobias Harris, who's also like a $40 million expiring contract next year. So now you're going to get Morris, Covington, Melton, and Korkmaz. None of them are going to stay with the Bulls. Let's be honest here. Covington and Morris maybe to spot the power forward right now that we have some injuries. But other than that, I don't see any one of these guys, going to be a Chicago Bulls next year. What the important part of this trade, and again, all of these guys, you can interchange it to whatever you want, as long as the salaries works. But the important return here is the potential picks that you could get. I think that's a pick from the Clippers, or whoever it is, which is most likely going to be low teens anyway. But there's 2 positives here for the Bulls, which is you get off LaVine's contract, so you free up $40 million in cap space, probably not true space, which you're gonna get. But still, that is something that they could use for like a random player that they could sign for a year or 2 till they get their feet off the ground, and then some draft picks that they could utilize down the line, because as we know, we need young assets here. So that might work if you were the Bulls. Now, in Philadelphia's side, why would they do this? To ride a tide. It's kind of known that they need a third scorer anyway, and I know every team is trying to avoid this massive contract by LaVine, but who knows? They might become desperate if they string a few more losses here and there, because I think they already lost 4 in a row. If it's proven that they need some offensive firepower, then look no further. You got Zach LaVine. They still have Tyrese Maxey to run the point. They have Tobias Harris and the power forward. They might be able to squeeze in a player or 2 here. Maybe they'll get Drummond in return. I don't even mind that at all. If you're the Bulls, you're trying to get as much young assets as you can. But if you're the Bulls, this might be the time. You might. It is Daryl Morey. that you're dealing with here. And everyone knows he's a hustler. You might not be able to swing it, but hey, if not Zach, replace Zach with DeMar. Take out a few people here and there, make it DeMar. Also an expiring contract. It's a low risk move by Philadelphia. Maybe they just want to get by this year, or get by till Embiid comes back, and maybe just a pick. So instead of having DeMar walk out on you without anything, maybe you can get a low pick anyway. It's not like it's going to be a lottery or anything, but you never know. So if you're the Bulls, these are, the deals that you might want to look at. You're not going to get quality player for Zach LaVine. Let's just be totally honest here. You're not going to get a young star and some picks in return. So you got to get what you could, which is cap space, cap relief, basically a salary dump. And if you can get picks in the process with an S, then I think that will be, you'll consider that as a win, and then you can reset your clock now. Focus on the young guys, Ayo and Kobe, and then go on from there. But let me know, Bulls Nation, do you think we can get more from that? I know it's, again, the return that we're getting, the players are not sexy, but if we can get to first what they got from the Clippers, I think it's worth exploring. Thank you for watching. If you're a Bulls fan, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.